All right, diving right in, folks. We're talking heart-healthy eating today.
Love it.
And I gotta say, having the Mayo Clinic's wisdom to guide us is pretty awesome.
Yeah, their insights are really top-notch.
We always hear, eat your fruits and veggies, but the Mayo Clinic goes deeper, way deeper.
Like way beyond just listing what's good for you.
Exactly. They break down the why.
And I think that's what makes it stick, understanding why those choices actually matter.
Totally. Like portion control, we all know it's important.
But the Mayo Clinic connects it back to your heart, to how those extra calories over time can really strain your cardiovascular system.
Whoa, so it's not just about fitting into those skinny jeans.
It's about taking the load off your heart.
Mind blown. So picture this. You're at
Okay.
a restaurant and those portions are like supersized.
Happens all the time.
How does the Mayo Clinic help us navigate that?
Okay, so they had this clever visual, right? Imagine a standard 9-inch plate.
Okay, got it.
Now, mentally divide it in half. Fill one half with fruits and veggies.
Half the plate? Wow.
Yep. Then a quarter with lean protein, and the last quarter with whole grains.
Ooh, that's a really helpful way to visualize it.
Right. Even when those restaurant plates are massive.
I'm definitely guilty of piling my plate high, so that visual is a game changer.
Gotta love those practical tips.
Now let's talk produce, the stars of any heart-healthy diet.
Oh, absolutely.
But the Mayo Clinic points out it's not just about vitamins and minerals.
Right. There's more to the story.
Spill the beans! What else makes fruits and veggies so good for our hearts?
Fiber. They're loaded with it. And fiber helps lower cholesterol.
We hear that a lot, but how does it work?
Well, the Mayo Clinic explains that fiber acts like a sponge, basically.
A sponge.
Yeah, in your digestive system. It binds to cholesterol, preventing it from getting absorbed into your blood,
So it's like giving my arteries a good scrub.
pretty much. And high cholesterol, that's what leads to plaque buildup in your arteries, making it harder for blood to flow.
Okay, fiber is officially my new best friend.
And don't forget potassium. Lots of fruits and veggies are packed with it. And potassium helps lower blood pressure.
Which is another big win for the heart, right?
Absolutely. And the Mayo Clinic even suggests branching out, going beyond the usual apples and broccoli.
Ooh, give me some examples.
Think papaya, kiwi, kale. You get those heart healthy benefits, plus some fun variety.
Love it. So it's like a flavor adventure that's good for your heart, too.
Exactly. Now, how about we switch gears to whole grains?
Whole grains, always a good idea, but honestly, why are they so much better for our hearts than refined grains?
It comes down to processing. Refined grains like white bread, white rice, they've been stripped of their outer layers, the bran and the germ.
And those are the good parts, right?
Totally. They contain most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Whole grains keep those layers intact, making them nutritional powerhouses.
So choosing whole grains is like getting a bonus boost of nutrients with every bite.
That's a great way to put it.
The Mayo Clinic must have some recommendations beyond the typical brown rice and whole wheat bread, right?
Oh, they do. They encourage exploring ancient grains like quinoa, farro, and barley.
Quinoa, I love quinoa.
It's delicious. And they all offer unique flavors and textures, plus those heart-healthy benefits.
Sounds like a delicious way to mix things up.
Now, let's talk about a topic that always seems to cause confusion. Fats.
Ugh, yes. Good fats, bad fats, it's hard to keep track.
Right. The Mayo Clinic breaks it down simply.
Please do, because I need some clarity.
So, saturated and trans fats, those are the villains.
Hit the bad guys.
Yep. They raise your LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, increasing your risk of heart disease.
So where do we find these troublemakers?
Saturated fats are mostly in animal products like fatty meats, full-fat dairy, butter.
Okay, those make sense.
Trans fats, those are sneaky. They hide in processed foods, baked goods.
Ah, so we gotta watch out for those hidden fats.
Exactly. The Mayo Clinic's advice is to limit these unhealthy fats as much as possible.
Got it. But what about the good fats? Are there any we should be embracing?
Absolutely. Unsaturated fats are the heroes here. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated.
And those are good for us because they actually lower your LDL cholesterol and raise your HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol.
So it's a swap again, choosing good fats over the bad guys.
Right.
Hit me with some examples of those heart-healthy fats we should be adding to our plates.
Olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds, all fantastic choices.
Those are all delicious. So it's like we're not sacrificing flavor for heart health. We're actually enhancing it.
Exactly. It's all about making smart choices and enjoying the benefits.
And I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we've got those healthy fats on our side. And it seems like smart swaps are a big theme here.
Definitely. Like you said, choosing whole grains over refined, good fats over bad fats.
What other sneaky swaps does the Mayo Clinic have up their sleeve for a healthier heart?
Well, they really stress the importance of protein.
Protein. Okay, I'm listening.
But it's not just about any protein, right? They highlight lean protein sources as the best for your heart.
So not all protein is created equal. Tell me more. Think fish, beans, lentils, tofu, poultry without the skin.
Gotcha. Lean and mean.
Exactly. They're naturally lower in saturated fat and cholesterol compared to, say, fatty meats or full-fat dairy.
So instead of a big juicy cheeseburger, maybe I go for some grilled salmon.
You got it. And there's more to it than just cutting down on those unhealthy fats.
Like what?
The Mayo Clinic talks about how fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, tuna, they're packed with omega-3 fatty acids.
Omega-3s. I hear that term all the time, but I'm a little fuzzy on what they actually do for my heart.
We'll think of them as tiny warriors fighting inflammation throughout your body, including your heart.
Inflammation, that's the bad stuff, right?
It can be. A little inflammation is normal, but when it's chronic, it can damage your blood vessels and increase your risk of heart disease.
So omega-3s are like my heart's personal bodyguards.
Basically, they help keep those arteries healthy and flexible.
So should I be stocking up on fish oil supplements to get my omega-3 fix?
Actually, the Mayo Clinic says food sources are the way to go.
Food first, as always.
They recommend at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week.
Okay, noted. Any other tips on the omega-3 front?
They say wild-caught fish tends to have higher levels of omega-3s than farmed fish.
Wild caught it is. All right, let's move on to a topic that always seems a bit confusing. Sodium.
Yeah, sodium can be tricky.
I know we need to watch out for it, but I honestly don't use that much salt in my cooking.
Right, but here's the thing.
What's that?
The Mayo Clinic says most of the sodium we eat doesn't come from our own salt shakers.
Really? So where's it hiding?
It's lurking in processed foods, restaurant meals, even some seemingly healthy choices like canned soup or salad dressing.
Sneaky sodium. So how do we avoid those hidden sodium bombs?
The Mayo Clinic suggests becoming a label detective.
A detective.
Yeah, really scrutinize those nutrition labels, compare brands, look for lower sodium options.
Okay, so knowledge is power when it comes to sodium.
And of course, cooking more meals at home helps too.
Makes sense. You're in control of the ingredients.
And when you are eating out, you can always ask for your food to be prepared without added salt.
Good tip. But what about those times when I need a little extra flavor? Are there any heart-healthy ways to season my food without relying on salt?
The Mayo Clinic says herbs, spices, and citrus fruits are your best friends.
I like the sound of that.
They suggest experimenting with different spice blends, using fresh herbs like basil, rosemary, thyme.
Ooh, fresh herbs are so flavorful.
Right, and a squeeze of lemon or lime juice can really brighten up a dish.
So we can boost flavor and support heart health at the same time. Win-win.
Now let's tackle something that can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. Meal planning.
Oh yeah, meal planning. It's a good idea, but it can be tough to actually do it.
The Mayo Clinic's approach is all about making it manageable and enjoyable.
How so?
They say start small, plan just 1 or 2 meals a week, then build from there.
Okay, that feels doable.
And focus on simple recipes, things you actually like to eat, with those hard, healthy ingredients we've been talking about.
Fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins.
You got it. They even suggest making meal planning a family or friend activity.
Ooh, turning it into a social thing. I love that.
Speaking of mixing things up, the Mayo Clinic also emphasizes the importance of variety in our diets.
Variety's the spice of life, right?
And it's also key for a healthy heart.
Tell me more.
They say a diverse diet provides a wider range of nutrients.
Okay, that makes sense.
Plus, it helps prevent boredom and those pesky cravings.
So explore different cuisines, try new ingredients, keep things exciting in the kitchen.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about something we all struggle with from time to time. Sugar.
Sugar, the sweet temptation. Does the Mayo Clinic have any advice on how to navigate that for a healthy heart?
Their message is all about moderation and balance.
So sugar isn't totally off limits.
Not at all. But it's about being mindful of the types and amounts of sugar we consume.
Okay, how do we do that?
They say prioritize naturally occurring sugars, like those found in fruits, vegetables, and dairy.
And limit the added sugars.
Exactly. Those are the ones hiding in processed foods, sugary drinks, and desserts.
So reading labels carefully is key.
Absolutely. And remember, sugar can wear many disguises on those labels.
Like what?
High fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, all those sneaky names.
Got it. So we got to be labeled detectives when it comes to sugar, too.
But what about those times when you just really craves something sweet.
Oh, I know those cravings all too well.
The Mayo Clinic suggests finding healthy alternatives.
Like what?
A piece of fruit, a handful of nuts, or a cup of herbal tea can sometimes satisfy that sweet tooth.
Those are good swaps. Any other tips for those sugary moments?
They talk about mindful eating, really paying attention to your body's signals.
So am I actually hungry, or am I just craving something sweet?
And savor each bite, really enjoy the experience.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about those special occasions like birthdays or holidays? You can't really avoid sugar then.
The Mayo Clinic says it's perfectly fine to enjoy treats on those special occasions.
Okay, good to know.
They just suggest choosing your indulgences wisely, savoring each bite, and balancing those treats with healthy choices throughout the day.
That sounds like a plan. It really seems like the Mayo Clinic's approach is all about finding that balance, you know?
Yeah, enjoying life, but making choices that are good for us too.
No deprivation, just smart decisions.
Right. It's about creating a lifestyle that really works for you long term.
And let's be real, who wants to live without a little birthday cake now and then?
Exactly. And the Mayo Clinic gets that.
They do.
Yeah. They even give tips on how to incorporate those treats without totally derailing your heart-healthy goals.
Okay, tell me more.
Portion control is key, they say. So maybe a smaller slice of cake, 1 scoop of ice cream instead of 3,
Makes sense.
and balance it out with healthy choices throughout the day. So if you're having that treat later, make sure you're loading up on fruits, veggies, whole grains beforehand.
So it's all about planning ahead.
Exactly. But, as we've been talking, I've realized it's bigger than just individual foods or meal planning.
What do you mean?
It's about a whole person approach to well-being,
Taking care of yourself, mind and body.
Exactly. The Mayo Clinic emphasizes that heart health is tied to other things in your life too, like stress, sleep, exercise.
It all connects.
It really does. And they point out that these healthy habits often work together.
Oh, I like that.
For example, regular exercise. It strengthens your heart, but it can also reduce stress and improve sleep.
Right. And managing stress through things like meditation. That can lower blood pressure, which is good for your heart.
It's like this awesome domino effect, Taking care of one aspect of your well-being boosts the others.
So it's all connected.
Exactly. And the Mayo Clinic encourages us to really think about those connections and make choices that support our overall well-being.
That's powerful.
And they remind us that even small changes can add up over time.
Small changes, big impact.
So whether it's adding more veggies to your plate or finding ways to de-stress or just spending a few minutes in nature, every step counts.
Every step toward a healthier heart.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one thing you want our listeners to take away?
That's a great question.
Hmm.
I think for me, it's the idea that taking care of your heart isn't about punishment or restriction.
It's about self-care.
Exactly. It's about nourishing yourself and living a longer, healthier, more vibrant life.
I love that. And I hope our listeners feel inspired to take action.
Yeah. Even small changes can make a big difference. So pick one tip that resonated with you and try it out this week.
You got this.
And remember, every step toward a healthier heart is a step worth celebrating.